Barbarians in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons are known and loved to be the ones standing in the front line, dishing out a ton of damage and soaking up a ton of damage. But their life expectancy is never really that long because they are actually the ones taking the axes to the face. Now, today we're going to combine just a few things to make your barbarian live that tiny bit longer. Hi there fellow roleplayers, my name is Mr. Tarask and welcome to another character build video. Today I'm wearing my red shirt because red is for aggression and we're building a barbarian. Now we're going to combine a few class features and racial features today in order to make your barbarian live longer and just be very hard to kill. Now last time I did a character build video was in front of a green screen and that ended up sucking like a lot. So today I decided to be super lazy and just do it this way. I will walk you through it level by level until level 6 and let's build this thing together. Very quick note, if you want a detailed description of this build, go to the link in the description below, and also a thank you Blind Jedi for helping me out with this stuff. So the survivability factor of this build is going to be immediately apparent at level 1 when we pick our race and we pick our class, because as a class we're of course going to pick the barbarian, which essentially already has a built-in survivability mechanic called rage, because that essentially cuts all your damage in half, right? But for a race, we're going to use the undead player option in the Ultimate Bestiary Dreaded Accursed by Nord Games. Yes, this is 90% of this book is a bestiary full of all types of undead, but it also has undead player options, and one of that is the zombie. It's actually an awakened undead, and then you can pick between skeleton and zombie, but the zombie actually has a very cool feature. Every time you are reduced to 0 hit points, not from radiant damage and not from a critical, but other times when you are reduced to 0 hit points, you get to roll a constitution saving throw, and the constitution saving throw is 5 plus the damage you've taken that hit when you are reduced to 0 hit points. If you make that constitution saving throw, you actually keep standing on your feet. Now, I can already hear you thinking, but Mr. Tarask, what if I take like 30 damage from a Hydra or something? Well, I would answer, a Hydra does piercing damage. And if you as a barbarian are raging, you actually only take half piercing damage, cutting that 30 in half, which makes it 15. 15 plus 5 is 20, which is still kind of a hard check. But since you are proficient in constitution saving throws, plus you are an undead zombie, which gives you +2 on your constitution, you're actually very good at making those constitution checks. So when you take normal amounts of damage that reduce you to 0 hit points, there is a very likely chance you're going to remain on 1 hit point instead of just falling unconscious. Now we're going to jump to level 3, where we're going to make a decision that's very important, somewhat later in the build, because right now we're going to take the Path of the Zealot subclass for the Barbarian. All that does at level 3 is just make you dish out a bit more damage when you are raging, but it's actually at level 6 when it all comes together. But first, at level 4, we're going to take a feat, the feat called Resilient, and we're going to take Wisdom as our saving throw, as our extra saving throw. We already have a Constitution saving throw proficiency, and Constitution is like one of the most used in my games at least, but Wisdom is one of those saving throws you can really use when you don't want to get paralyzed or charmed or those kinds of effects that you really don't want to for your Barbarian. The reason we're taking that is just to make the usability of our Barbarian just a little bit broader. Now it is at level 6 where it all comes together, because the Path of the Zealot subclass for the Barbarian gives us a second feature that gives us the ability to reroll any saving throw we fail as long as we are raging. Now we already have a Strength and Constitution proficiency for our saving throws, but because we've taken the feat, we also have Wisdom proficiency for our saving throws, which means we have a lot of weaponry in our arsenal when the Dungeon Master is pushing saving throws in our direction. And that completes our build. Now to summarize, most of the stuff you get from this build, you get while you are raging. First of all, you only take half damage from a bunch of sources. Then you are dishing out a bunch of extra damage. Then when you are dropped to 0 hit points, you get to make a Constitution saving throw. If you make that, you only drop to 1 hit point instead, and you can continue to fight. And if you fail a saving throw while raging, you can reroll that saving throw. And on top of that, you also have proficiency on wisdom saving throws. And you are exceptionally good at Constitution saving throws. And that was the survivability build for the Barbarian. Now, like anything in life, it is probably not perfect, and there's probably a lot of improvements that can still be done. So if you have any comments, any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you want to see it for yourself and figure it out how to build this character, make sure to click the link in the description below. And until next video, bye-bye.